Welcome, dear viewers of Mystery Street, to this investigation that I've carefully crafted after thorough research, testimony gathering, and piecing together the suspicious facts. I did not surrender to the mystery. I laid before you a story never told this way before. A story that may begin with pigeons, but ends with death, accusation, and an unexpected investigation. Today I present to you the case of Freddy the Birdman, the young man who came down from his rooftop one day and never went back up again. Let's begin, my friends. Who was Freddy? In a quiet neighborhood lived a man in his 30s named Freddy. But he was unlike any other young man. Eccentric and obsessed with homing pigeons, he would spend hours on the rooftop, shouting, chasing birds, as if he were one of them. People nicknamed him the Birdman, but the nickname wasn't said with admiration. His constant conflicts with neighbors were no secret. His birds annoyed everyone. Often, one of his pigeons would land on a neighbor's rooftops so close they were almost connected, and he would jump over to retrieve his bird, violating people's privacy and space. The walkers, in particular, had enough. Freddy trespassed their rooftop frequently, scaring their daughter Sarah, a young woman who would climb up from another street to clean the roof and dry grains. Their neighbor Jimmy, a kind-hearted man in his 50s who could tolerate anything except disrespect to his family, repeatedly complained to Freddy, to no avail. Freddy would always say, "This is my rooftop. These are my birds, and the sky belongs to no one." One afternoon, Freddy was sipping tea with his cousin Chris. Chris, the flirtatious young man who often visited Freddy to sneak glances at the beautiful Sarah. As they sipped their tea, one of Freddy's birds landed on the walker's rooftop. Freddy jumped over the flimsy wooden barrier to retrieve it. But this time, Sarah was startled and screamed. Her mother, Carla, rushed up. "What's wrong, Sarah?" "There's a thief on our roof," she shouted. Freddy smirked and replied mockingly, "A thief? What could I possibly steal from poor folks like you?" He laughed and climbed back to his side. Chris chuckled and said, "Sarah is really pretty." Freddy snapped, "Did you not see the chaos? Is this the time for flirting?" Yes, friends. Freddy was provoking, and Chris had no sense of decency or honor. Carla, furious, told her husband Jimmy what had happened. Jimmy's face turned red and pale. "That's it," he said. "Enough is enough." But unlike Freddy, Jimmy didn't jump roofs. He marched out the front door like a storm and headed to Freddy's house. He banged on the door, shouting, "Come out, you coward! I'll pluck your feathers along with your annoying birds." Freddy came out, his mother behind him, trying to protect their home from the enraged man. Freddy said, You're going to pluck my feathers, kill my pigeons?" A verbal fight broke out, yelling, insults. Jimmy slapped Freddy, hard. Suddenly, Freddy stumbled backward and collapsed. He fell in silence. The noise stopped, and one heart-wrenching scream pierced through the air. "Freddy!" The shock. Freddy's mother rushed to him, trying to wake him, but she quickly realized her son was gone. Jimmy couldn't believe it. "It was just a slap," he muttered. "Just a slap." But the slap turned into a charge of premeditated murder. Dear viewers, this is when the police arrived. Paramedics, rescue teams, and Detective Gary Selman took over the case. An old-school investigator. He trusted no surface-level story, and he had one famous quote, "A man dies from a slap? Something smells off." He ordered an autopsy, and the initial report was beyond shocking. Freddy had died from neural shock, a rupture in the facial veins linked to heart nerves. But that didn't sit well with Gary and his partner, Anthony. They'd seen thousands of cases, many worse beatings, yet no deaths. So Gary told Anthony to go to the rooftop and look for any clue. Anthony, along with a forensics team, inspected the scene. Sharp-eyed and experienced, Anthony noticed something strange: 2 teacups on the ground. Who was drinking with Freddy? Chris, his cousin, someone said. Immediately, Anthony ordered his arrest, but then came another twist. The team found a blood-stained cloth, and moments later, someone shouted, "Sir, look here! Drops of blood on the rooftop!" Back at the lab, the blood was confirmed to be Freddy's. Gary stormed into the forensic hospital. "There's blood on the rooftop. Why wasn't this in your report?" The doctor mumbled, "Maybe I forgot." But Gary was done with excuses. He rushed to the prosecutor's office, demanding the exhumation of Freddy's body before it decayed completely. The order was granted. A large team of forensic doctors was assembled to uncover what really happened to Freddy. Meanwhile, Chris was brought in for questioning. After intense pressure, he cracked. Yes, Chris admitted. "The blood is Freddy's. When he jumped onto the Walker's rooftop, he tripped on a wooden plank and smashed his face." The twist, dear viewers. The new autopsy report arrived at Gary's office. He smiled, the smile of a man who cracked the case. Conclusion: the bitter ending. In the end, Jimmy was proven innocent, but Freddy was buried, and with him, many secrets. This is not just a story about crime. It's a tale about anger, about stubbornness, about decisions made in moments of emotion that cannot be undone. A single slap turned out to be the final straw, revealing a deadly truth. The story of Freddy the Birdman, a man who soared with his pigeons but couldn't make it back down. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe for more mysterious tales and real investigations. Support us so the truth can always be revealed and told as it deserves.